All right. Do you got the record sign?
Yep.
All right. Do you still consent to the recording of this podcast
Yes.
and the distribution of this podcast on various platforms?
Yes.
All right, everybody. Welcome my nephew, Christian. How are you, man?
Great, man. It's good to see you again.
Yeah, you too. Love you, man. Tell everybody where you at right now, man, because it looks pretty spectacular behind you.
We out here. Cartagena, Colombia behind me. Man, life is good, man. Life is good.
Yeah, my nephew's living it up. I'm so proud of him, man. Yeah. So, man, I wanted to have you on because I want to talk, one of the benefits of me doing this podcast is that I get like an hour to talk to people that I don't get to see too much, you know what I mean? Or have that great of relationship, because I'm always, ever since you were born, I've been like all around the world. you know what I mean?
Oh my God. Everywhere.
Yeah. So here it is, man. We're going to get to talk about different things. And, you're 23, just turned 23. I'm about to be 45. So it's a little bit of an age difference. But I want to know, man, for you, like, what was it like growing up for you? And not only that, not just what it was, because I'm guessing what it was like for like your mom, your dad. Everyone has a different story. Everyone has sort of like a comic book origin story. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Kind of something you would see in movies that I can't really picture because that's not my era. So all I could do is wonder.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna get your mind too. It's gonna be great.
Yeah, man. So what it was like for you? Tell me about you, man. Like, you grew up like the 2000s? Would you say that was like your era?
Yeah, the 2000s. Later 2000s was more when like middle school or high school started. So you can really remember those memories more as opposed to a child, of course.
Mm-hmm.
But from what I hear, like from what you and my mom went through, I grew up a little different. Like you guys grew up, had it a little harder than I did. I grew up in a suburban neighborhood, calm, but you always have those kids that want to act tough.
Yeah.
Then they're from the neighborhood where you really grew up in, and they don't know the difference.
Yeah.
They really, yeah, man.
But you had family back in New York too that you would visit a lot, so you'd get some of that. You get to see some of it,
Yeah. It was always cool to come out.
Can you think of something that for you really stuck out to you that was really different? Like for me, like if I think about it, like you got a house, you had to grow up in a house and everything, man. You know what I mean? Like we lived like in crappy ass apartments, and you had like a nice town. You know what I mean? Like it sounded like you had good friends that you grew up with too, man.
Yeah. It's I definitely think that kind of stuff like So we also had that down here too, like shitty apartments and stuff. I grew up in a house, but it really kind of like opens your eyes to a lot.
Yeah.
You get really the best of both worlds. Excuse me. Yeah, man. Growing up in a house, I liked it. But unfortunately, like I kind of grew up in a household where it kind of got split up towards the end.
Yeah.
But besides that, I'm grateful that I grew up here because a lot of the times I actually think about it and I'm like, man, I'm so grateful I grew up here, not going to like public schools in the city and stuff. Because the stories I hear is just like, when you come from where I come from, people from over there see you as like an opportunity. Like you guys see us as like if you weren't living in my age, my current day, but where you guys were living and it was still the same, let's say, like you guys would look at someone like me who's growing up in this like almost predominantly white neighborhood and like, oh, this kid has a chance at something.
Yeah.
And am I right? Like,
yeah. So for you, your sister, and now that I have kids, I think that you guys have a different burden than what me and your mom grew up with, or maybe even your dad too. But I mean, he was born in a different country, then he came here later, so it's kind of a different story. But let me just focus on me and your mom, right? So I think me and your mom had the burden of low expectations, right? We don't expect much from you guys. You guys are brown, you guys are poor, you're from this shitty neighborhood, right? So we don't expect much from you. And to be honest, man, God, rest in peace, my mom. One of the things I remember my mom saying to us all the time was like, hey, like, don't get in trouble. Like, don't go to jail. Like that was like a benchmark. Like, hey, just don't go to jail.
And if you guys hit that, it was almost kind of like hitting a milestone, like if you didn't go to jail, it's almost like you accomplished.
Yeah.
You know what I'm trying to say?
That's why she said it. I know. It sounds bad. It sounds like I'm saying something horrible. Yeah. But she meant it in a good way.
Like, so you not going to jail is basically like me going to college. Like, yo, like something like that almost. Like, no, it definitely is a burden though. But in a way, I liked it because, I don't know, I can't speak for everybody, but I feel like when you have that kind of burden on you, it almost like pushes you to do more. You know what I'm trying to say? Because you don't know what it is to come from something less than that. You know what I'm trying to say? Like the same way that my grandmother, your mom, used to say like, oh, like don't go to jail, and that's a great thing to do. Like that's something you accomplished. Like I never thought of it like that. I never was really put in that situation. So it was really always like, oh, you gotta go to school.
Yeah.
You gotta go to school. You gotta get good grades. Yeah. Once you get good grades, you gotta get out. You gotta start making money. You gotta, like it was. It's almost like a different mentality that coming from a neighborhood like I did puts you in.
Yeah. That's what I'm trying to say. Like for me and your mom, the burden was it was a different burden. It was a burden of, like I said, low expectations. Where I feel for you, your sister, and my kids, your burden is different. Your burden might be high expectations. That look, we gave you, you guys had a house. You guys are living in a nicer neighborhood. You guys have the things that we don't have. And even like your parents, like, yeah, they ended up divorced, but they were together for a long time. And I don't know what their relationship, but it seems like they still work together somehow. I don't know. But like when it comes to like your mom, right? She didn't even know her dad. My dad left. I mean, he was still in my life, but there was a lot of fighting and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like it was hectic. You know what I mean? And now with my kids, like me and my wife seem to have a really good relationship. Thank God for that. So I look at my kids and I say, hey, look, don't give me an excuse. You know what I mean? Like you need to go ahead and do something with your life.
No, but honestly though, if I were to have come from a situation where you guys came from, I feel like I still would have thought the same way. Like
maybe.
Matter of fact, being in a position that was lower, I feel like it would have inspired me more. Like I want to get out of here.
Maybe a lot. It did for a lot of people.
And I feel like that's the correct way to think about it. Yeah. Even though that's not the I guess you could call it a stereotype. And the way people look at it, it may not be like that, but I feel like now it's coming more to that. Now people are realizing more like this is 2021, like 2022, excuse me now. Yeah. Like you could do anything now. Like the cryptocurrency, dude, people become millionaires off a couple $100 investment now. Like something like that. Like it could change your whole view on how you could succeed in life, no matter where you're coming from.
You're 100% right. And we knew people like that. And I think me and your sister did, pretty well considering, where we grew up and how we grew up. We did pretty well. But I think the point that I would like to make, kind of like to play devil's advocate, is that, a lot of people didn't. You know what I mean? So it's a one single mistake in a neighborhood like that, in a place like that, could really cost you a lot. You know what I'm saying? You get arrested. I got my cousins, right? Who got arrested. Two of them are older than me. One is 6 months older than me. One is 3 months older than me. Both of them motherfuckers one got arrested for manslaughter. The other one got arrested for selling drugs. And you know what I mean? That's a crutch that's hard to get over. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's like it'll follow.
And I don't think they were bad guys. And a lot of guys that I knew and I grew up with.
And that's actually something that I want to like talk about, because I feel like when you come from those neighborhoods, it's not even that you're necessarily doing something bad yourself. It's kind of just being in that environment.
Yeah, you can get caught up.
Like people say you're a product of your environment.
Yeah.
And somewhat that's true. Like
let me tell you a story, dude, because I just wrote a book, and I it's in my book, but not exactly, because I don't want to like put people's names or situations in. But I went to high school in Queens, the same high school that Robert and Lenny went to, right? And by the time I got there, it got a lot worse, right? And I remember it was my second year there, and I was hanging out with them guys. Man, we were kind of, kind of tough guys, right? And I hooked up with this girl, and I was about to go to my house to take this girl home. I think I was 16 or something like that, maybe 17, I don't know. And a fight broke out, right? Or some kind of beef. And one of the guys we were cool with came up to me. He was like, hey, this beef, man, we're about to go over there. We're going to get into a fight with this other group of guys, right? And I was like, okay, I'm going. But the guy who actually had the beef, who had the fight, went up to me and was like, yo, man, you with this girl? You about to hook up with this girl? And I was like, yeah, man, but fuck it. Like, I'll go with you guys and we'll get into a fight. We'll fuck these guys up. I was thinking like a young dude. And he was like, man, we got this. Just go hook up with this girl. All right, man, you sure? All right. I went and I hooked up with this girl and everything. And believe it or not, Cris, they ended up stabbing that kid, and like 4 or 5 of them ended up going to jail.
And I was just gonna say that little decision right there that you made, or that they made for you, even whatever you want to call it, that right there was the difference between the life you're living right now and the life that could have been.
Yes. Yeah.
And that's huge, because like a lot of that stuff didn't happen where I grew up. You know what I'm trying to say? Like it wasn't like dire situations like that, like that could have potentially screwed up somebody's whole life. And
yeah, but I don't think where you grew up at was completely innocent too. I think there was some things going on there.
Man, I could tell you a whole bunch of stories.
Just don't get anybody in trouble though. Leave the names out or whatever.
I'm not gonna get nobody in trouble. So that's.
Was there any kind of gangs? I'm guessing there was drugs, because drugs nowadays are like everywhere.
Drugs, definitely, because I hate to say it, man, but they move through white communities quicker than any community there is, because that's who can afford it.
Yeah. What was the drug in your neighborhood when you were growing up? Like when I grew up, where I lived, it was heroin. Heroin was like the big drug.
So there was really three. Chill kids, weren't doing the worst of things. Weed.
Smoke weed, yeah. Smoke. Or drink. Yeah.
Yeah. Smoke, drink. That's it, normal stuff. But then like you had the people who would be on coke.
Always been around.
Xanax and perks.
So like prescription drugs.
Yeah, prescription drugs, because they were pretty accessible, and it wasn't something that was gonna kill you, but it was something that was gonna get you a little bit more off than like weed would, So I never went there, but there was a lot of people that I did know. Not gonna name no names. That no names. Go there and you kind of saw them fall off. So I'm not gonna say that it was all innocent by me. There was a lot of stuff going on. There was definitely a lot of stuff going on.
Let me ask you this, man, because a lot of people don't consider this a drug, and I don't really know where I stand on it and everything. But I noticed by getting towards the end of my the high school age time, I think that's like 94 or something like that. Let's say mid 90s, right? I noticed, because I play sports. I know you play sports. That's why I'm bringing it up. I noticed a lot of dudes got jacked, like quick. Like these dudes weren't jacked, and all of a sudden these dudes were jacked. So like steroids, man. Where I grew up with, in actually not that much in people in Brooklyn, because the people in Brooklyn were poor, but the people I knew in Queens who had more money, a lot of guys who play sports.
No,
did you see any of that?
Yeah, bro. In the locker room, I played football for 13 years, and I saw a lot of it. I mean, I've seen guys where you could clearly tell like you were going to the locker room, game would be like just about to start. I'm talking like right before the game, 5 minutes before the game, they would take off their pads, or they would already have them off, and you would just see, like their backs, their arms, just needle holes, and you could tell like they used to put them like right here, like on the side.
Right, the meaty part. Yeah.
They were animals, but I don't think it was something that was super harmful. I just think it was like, I don't know. I never really got to experiment with it.
Yeah.
I would try it. I would try it.
I tried it one time. I got hurt one time after my second knee injury, and a buddy of mine was a big workout guy. So I tried to say, you know what, maybe it could accelerate my recovery. I wasn't trying to get jacked. I just wanted to be
sports all the time.
Yeah. I just wanted to accelerate, not be on crutches and everything for a long time after my second knee surgery. And he got me about 6 weeks of some kind of testosterone. I forgot what it was. And he got me HGH. And I healed a lot faster, dude. My skin changed. A friend of mine's in school, she asked me, hold on a second. A friend of mine's in school, she asked me if I was doing Botox because it like changed my face. What were you saying? I couldn't hear you. Sorry.
That serious? No. No, I actually did H2H. I didn't know that was like
HGH, yeah.
Oh, HGH.
Yeah, human growth hormone.
Yeah. I've had some of that. I didn't know that was considered a steroid. I thought that was almost like performance enhancing, but not like to the point of steroids. Kind of like
they're different, yeah.
Like fish oils and stuff. Like I thought that was categorized as that.
It's a performance enhancer though. It is under that category. It's not like steroids. You don't get as big as strong with that, but it has its benefits, especially for like healing. So you saw some of it. Did you see anybody who, because people always talk about the Hall of Fame, like who should go to the Hall of Fame. And I had this conversation on a different podcast with Lenny and Robert about who should go. And if we were all offered the opportunity, hey, take these drugs and, you could change your life, man. You got column A, take these drugs and become a professional athlete, which means you're going to be thousands of dollars, if not millions of dollars, right? And then column B is you're just going to be an ordinary dude working at Target or something. You know what I mean? Like, I think, so my question is, did you see anybody excel from taking it and then ended up going farther than just maybe high school football?
Nah, nobody that I saw really went professional, but I did see a lot of them go to college.
Also play for college?
Yeah, and I do think that had a great thing to do with it because, you're just running people over. I mean, in football, at least, like when you take that kind of stuff, it's a huge difference because, football is all contact. It really has to do with size, agility, strength, all of that. Mm-hmm. And I know a few kids.
So here's the question though. Would you think those guys still would have made it to college? And how about this? Had it become a thing? Because I know a lot of guys who are like, listen, everybody was doing it. So if you didn't do it, you didn't have a chance.
The thing is that at least I'm speaking on football right now.
Right.
Football is a sport where you have to have like this certain kind of mentality. Mm-hmm. If not, you're really gonna get hurt. You know what I'm trying to say? So I think these people would have made it? Possibly, because of just the way that they thought. Because it wasn't just the steroids; it was also that mentality that they went in with, that nobody was gonna knock them down. That,
right.
They
like a beast.
Like there was no doubt in their head that if it was them, like colliding with somebody, that they was gonna run them over. So, do I think they would have still made it? Yeah. Do I think they would have been as good? Probably not.
Probably not. Okay.
Because there's a difference between, pressing like 135 and pressing 305.
It's a big difference, man.
That'll get you on the field for sure.
Yeah. So throw out a number, man. I don't want you to throw out any names or something like that. But how many or percent? What percentage of guys playing football in high school football in New Jersey you think are taking something?
I would say like 40%, honestly, because and it's such a high number. I'll give you a reason why. Because typically, if you're in a locker room full of dudes who are doing it, and let's say you're part of that starting 11, right? Yeah. Let's say you're part of that starting 11. I had to think about it. It's been a while. Let's say you started that starting 11, and everybody else is doing it. Like your 10 teammates that are starters with you, you 11 are doing it. You're like, all right, am I really gonna be that one dude who doesn't do it and let these guys like throw me
Let
out of
them
this
down.
lineup telling them on points? And I know that if I don't do it, the next person up gonna do it.
Yeah.
So that being like that, you know, and it's a locker room. Stuff travels fast.
Yeah. Was there any pressure from like the coaches to do it? You think the coaches knew about it, didn't know about it?
That's a good one. I think they knew about it.
Okay.
I don't think they were the ones facilitating the whole
Yeah.
process. Um, yeah, they you have to know it when a kid goes from scrawny to
Yeah.
oh you know.
What about personally? Did a coach ever come up to you and say, "Hey, yo, Cris, man, you need to be taking this stuff"?
Nah, never.
Okay. That's good because I had a friend playing baseball.
They used to do that with you. They used to
No,
do that in
no,
the old.
no, because in my day, like I said, it happened more for people who had more money.
Oh yeah.
People like us did, what I mean? It didn't really, but so I know a guy though, like who grew up, I think he grew up in Florida. And baseball, it was pretty big down there. He's Cuban too, so he was in the Cuban community. And he said when he got to high school at senior year, he pretty much got told, like, you got to take it. He said, like, when college, everybody was taking it. And he might have made it to the minor leagues, but I think he got hurt. But he never was going to be good. But he was like, pretty much everybody was taking it. And I want to say this was like the early 2000s when this happened to him.
Yeah, I feel like it's came so far that now there's even like stuff that you wouldn't even like. It goes undetected, like because there's just so much more out there now. I honestly, if I had to take a guess of how many pro athletes or even college athletes were taking it, I'd definitely put it over 50%. I couldn't give you a spot on number, but I could promise you over 50%.
Yeah, no doubt.
Whether it has to do with being hurt and wanting to recover fast, or just wanting to be that top dog.
Yeah, it's wanting to be the top dog. It's recovering, and it's also like what you mentioned, and I kind of mentioned too, which is, yo, like if I don't take this asshole behind me who's not as good as me is going to take it. He's going to get better and take my spot.
That's what it comes down to, and then it doesn't even come down to the drugs anymore. It comes down, or whatever you want to call it. It doesn't even come down to that anymore. What it comes down to is him or me.
Yeah.
And then anybody with hungry personality is gonna choose themselves.
Yeah.
And that's just where it comes from.
Yeah. All right, man. Let's transition to a little bit. What was partying like growing up where you grew up? Because where I grew up, we would have a lot of house parties. We would have hooky parties. I was like the king. I don't know if you know this story. I was the king of like the hooky parties. So much so that I got us kicked out.
We got different slang now. What's that?
House party? Oh, hooky party? Oh, it's like when you cut school and you have a party at someone's house.
Okay, yeah.
So I was like the king of that. So bad that I got me, your grandma, and your mom, three of us, got us kicked out of the apartment. We were almost homeless because I got us kicked out because I was having so many parties, so much alcohol, so much ladies, so much weed. It was pretty bad, man. But that was kind of like a big thing, man. Yeah. What about you guys? What was partying like for you guys? You think it was any different from what you heard about us?
Partying was probably the best time of my like younger years, like high school, middle school, and definitely did a whole bunch of that, skipping school to throw parties. It was mostly house parties because I feel like out of a group of friends, somebody's parents will go away for the weekend, and then it's just like, all right, let me text my boy, let him know that his parents is going away, and then like whether it was peer pressure or everybody just wanted to turn up, but they will put so so what used to happen a lot of the times was the person whose parents was going away, he would tell everybody their parents are going away and then didn't want to throw a party. So everybody would be like, "Ooh," like so. What they would do was they would throw him in a group chat and single him out, be like, "Yo,
yeah,
we know your parents is dipping. Like, what's the move? What's the vibe?" And then like, what are you gonna do? Like, and then people would literally just show up. And I used to throw a lot of parties too, but I used to like, it was never really pressure. Like I just, wanted to have a good time.
Well, how big are these parties? Like how many people? Do you guys have a DJ? Like what's going on?
Richie, I used to throw bangers. I'm talking like for New Year's Eve in 20, I want to say it was 2016, 2017. Richie, I threw a party with like 200 people there.
Oh
And
my
keep
God.
in mind, like you've been to our old house on 725 Clifton, like it wasn't huge, but 200 people, meaning like the
That's
backyard,
packed, dude. Yeah.
bro.
Yeah.
Like I had my neighbors call the cops, the police came, and I brought 200 people, bro, into the house. And I said, everybody go downstairs. I don't care how you do it, just go downstairs. Cops came, knocked on the door. They're like, like it smells funny. Like, what's going on? Like I smell alcohol coming off your breath. I'm like, sir, it's just me and a couple of friends. Like, feel free to come inside if you want to check.
Yeah.
And I have a couple of friends sit on the couch, a few beers, make it look like we was just, casually drinking.
Yeah. Yeah.
Meanwhile, we had 190 more people just like oozing from the bottom of the downstairs. And
Oh
then
my
as soon as
God.
we left, cops drove off. And I had a friend that used to give like a whistle. I can't whistle, but he would whistle. Everybody would just come out, music back up. I mean,
Oh
crazy
my
shit.
God. That's crazy, man. Your parents ever find out?
So I actually have a crazy story. So there was this one night my dad had went away on vacation. Had no idea that this guy was coming back early because of something that happened, like with his flight plans, right?
Yeah.
He comes back early, and I don't know how he had been drinking. I guess he Ubered back to the house or whatever. And it wasn't a huge party like that other one, 200 people. No, it was probably like 50 people, like close
More
friends.
casual.
Yeah, more of like people in my grade, maybe a few from the grade above me. But he comes home and we didn't know who it was. We thought it was just more people showing up to the door. So he comes and he's like, "What's going on, Chris?" I'm like, my friend comes in the back behind me. He's like, "Yo, Chris, you gonna come hit this bong?" And I'm like,
Oh.
I turned around and he sees like my dad from like right over my shoulder. He goes,
It's like a
"Yo,
comedy show, man.
yeah, no, it was crazy." And I don't know how he was like not all there, but he just went to his room, shut off the lights, and I had everybody dip out the back door.
Oh wow,
Like
dude.
it was what used to get me popped a lot was people just get reckless and like to break stuff.
Mhm.
Not that they like to break stuff, but they will accidentally break stuff in the house, and my dad would be like, "Oh, like why is this broken?"
Yeah,
And
yeah.
the next time, mom would be like, "Why is this broken?" I'm just like, I'm just coming up off the top of
Yeah,
my
yeah,
head.
yeah, yeah.
It was crazy. Nah, partying, I definitely missed that part of
Yeah.
being
What
young.
about dating, man? What was dating like for you guys? Did you have like apps and stuff like that? Like how did you guys hook up?
Man, I gotta see where Shorty is right now.
Okay. If you don't want to talk about this, that's fine, man.
No,
Well, it don't have to be personally like about you too. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about in general, because I feel like it's dating is really different from my time compared to your time. Or maybe it wasn't, man. I don't know.
In what way?
So for one thing, we didn't have like you were saying, like putting pressure on a dude, right? Like you guys would put them in chats, right? We didn't have that. I had to go find people. If we were throwing a party, we used to make flyers, hand out flyers. We used to go find dudes, you know what I'm saying? Like we would hook up on the corner or we would go to the park. There was like areas where everybody met up. And that's where we got into groups and put pressure. And we would plan stuff out like, yo, 2 Fridays from now, this person's house, you bring this, you bring that. You know, it was a different type of thing. And we definitely didn't have like, Facebook and like that, where you could talk to people from halfway around the world. You know what I mean? Like it was that group.
So being that like there wasn't so much, I guess you want to call it social media, technology, all of that stuff. So being that there isn't so much of that, I feel like dating has really gone down the drain.
Okay.
Like
How so?
I feel like it changed the game, and let me explain. Because all right, so if I don't have a phone, right, and I have to go to this girl's house, like it becomes almost more intimate in a way because you're there in person. You guys are seeing physically each other's emotions.
Yeah.
As opposed to now,
Emojis.
I could be talking to this girl, right? And she could be in the bed with another dude at the same moment.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know what I'm trying to say? So it's kind of like it gives so much freedom, but also such a lack of trust. So what that causes is that lack of trust. It almost puts people's back against the wall. It's like, okay, like we gonna fuck, right? But then how do I know like this? What I just did with her, how do I know she's not doing that with 20 other dudes?
Yeah.
Because it's just that accessible. It's that easy, and it's so easy to hide. Now on Instagram they got banish mode. You send a message and then it deletes in like 5 minutes or whatever. Like, how would you ever know? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's really changed the game. Yeah, dating has gone down the drain, bro. So if you find the right one.
Yeah, definitely. It's not just that. It's like society has gotten like really sensitive to like everything is like harassment and stuff like that. Like the stuff that the way I was taught to approach a woman was very like upfront, kind of aggressive, like in a way, man. I remember like Diaz telling me like, you go to a party and you see a beautiful girl and you just walk up to her, you grab her hand, you say, hey, you know what I mean? Like you can't really do that nowadays.
Like, you can't do that nowadays. You will really catch a restraining order. Like it's not that easy nowadays, which I don't know if that's good or worse. What would you think?
I think that it depends on the person, obviously, because some people might prefer that. I don't know, but I think that the line,
old school, yeah.
I think that the line is kind of, it seemed a little bit more clearer to me growing up, like what I can and can't do, like when approaching a woman. And I think a lot of women kind of wanted a guy to take charge back then. I don't know if they do now. Like I'm saying, I'm out of the game. But from what I've heard, and I'm talking to people, but mostly older people, so maybe I should get some young ladies on here, is that the women miss that the man was sort of a take charge type of guy. Like they don't want that. Like that guy's considered like maybe like the alpha male or something that's considered like an asshole. I mean, I don't know. I don't know, man. It just seems like things are different.
No, I get you. I feel like there's two ways it could go nowadays. Like either so you could be that aggressive, but in a different way. Like
different
I feel
way,
like
huh?
Yeah, like it's not like you could just go up and grab some girl's hand, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
Like they want to see it, but in different ways.
Mm-hmm.
But also, I feel like women are kind of flipping the game on dudes now.
Okay.
You know what I'm trying to say? Like these women want to be the head of the household. They want to be the ones calling the shots. They want to be the aggressive ones. So it's almost like we're looking like four submissive men that are not submissive though, because if you're too submissive, you're considered a bitch and a pushover.
Right. Yeah.
So it's rough, bro. It's rough.
That's what I'm saying. Like, where's the line, man? It's for me, it's hard to say. Like, I don't know what kind of advice to give my son, dude. I'm gonna be honest with you, man. And even then, like back then, I remember being told, like, hey, if you talk to a girl and she puts you down, like she, just doesn't receive your advance, that you should keep going. Like you keep. I know I was told like the Romeo and Juliet, like come to her house, climb up her window, like sing to her, like to keep, and that eventually she would give in. And I'm like, you can't nowadays. You can't do that, man. That's not the way to do it.
I'm gonna let everybody in this podcast. I'm a little secret. I'm out the game though. But listen, nowadays, you know how it works nowadays? You gotta act like you don't even want them no more. Like if you give them a shot, right, and they dub it, okay, no problem. I'm gonna go find somebody else. And you know what that's gonna do for you? Nowadays, I feel like if you do that to a woman, right, like you almost act like they're nothing. Like their value is not that important, being that there's so many other females out there.
You're not acting so thirsty, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Being thirsty like that kind of puts you in a friend zone almost. Kind of like, all right, this guy wants it too much. I'm gonna go for the guy that don't even care.
Yeah.
Because that guy that don't even care is, what's considered real now.
I guess.
You know what I'm trying to say? That whole like fairy tale stuff, like, oh, like he has to, like you were saying, like he really has to go after me and prove to me. Nah, it's not like that.
That doesn't happen no more, huh?
That you consider thirsty. You consider like you don't get no bitches.
Yeah. It's funny, man, because I don't know if you remember, man. Like I didn't meet my wife till I was 35 years old, man. So I was single for a long time. Don't get me wrong. I had my friends, but I didn't have like a lot of meaningful, serious relationships. And I went to Puerto Rico one time, and I sat down with grandma, your great grandma, and Nidma, and they were asking me because I think I was almost 30 years old. I think I was, so back in those days, something was wrong with you. You know what I mean? So I remember them asking me like, yo, like, you're a handsome guy. You got a good job. You seem like a nice guy. Like, how come you not settled down? How come you don't have a wife? How come you don't have no kids and stuff like that? And I remember telling them something like what you tell me, which is like, I don't know. I just can't meet the right girl. I can meet some girls that I can hook up with and we're friends. But
it wasn't like that one.
So it wasn't a girl. I met girls that I would love to have fun with, party with, but not a girl that I thought that, okay, this girl is the one. She has all the qualities, a good, high quality, you know what I'm saying, woman, you know what I mean? And when I did meet them, I felt like they weren't into me. They were into assholes. Like I knew dudes who were like in jail who had more women who wanted to be with them, who wanted to get married with them, or dudes who were like all messed up on drugs or selling drugs or whatever. And I felt that, I remember telling them, like, I don't know what it was like in your days. I feel like for, my grandmother, your great grandmother, my aunt, that finding a good man who would treat you good, he was handsome and he had a good job. Woo! Like that was the thing back in those days, because they grew up really, really poor. But in my time, right? Because their time, my time, then we'll go into your time. In my time, it became that wasn't the thing. Like that was boring or something like that.
Like, because they couldn't protect you? Because like
the way I said it, what I said to Nima and grandma was that, in my opinion, these women want a guy that's broken. They want a guy that it's a project, they need to fix him. And I wasn't broken. That's what I thought. I don't know if that was right. That was just me talking to them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Honestly, I feel like history repeats itself. I feel like it was like that during your time, and it was different during grandma's time, great grandma's time. But I feel like it's almost getting back to that now, because like, I feel like the world has just changed so much. It's gotten so much crazier that people are starting to realize, like, okay, this crazy shit is not cool no more. Like, let me find a good dude who's well educated. I mean, there are those select few women that will always think like, let me go for the bad guy, because that's who looks cool. I mean, as far as what they see, right? But if I had advice to give, like, let's say I had a daughter, I would tell her, go for the dude with the good job, man, because that's what is cool. That's
my daughter ain't dating no bum, bro.
Don't ever let her do that, because that's being real. Being all broken and going to jail and being behind bars and not being able to provide your family, that's not cool, bro.
It's not cool at all.
That's not cool. That's not tough. I don't care how loyal you think you are. I don't think how tough you think you are. I don't care. That's not cool. Get some money, get you a house, get you a good girl with a head on her shoulders, man, and that's cool. That's so.
I agree, man.
I think.
And I met your girlfriend. I think you got yourself a good girl, man.
Yeah, because thank you. I appreciate that. She is, man. Like, I used to be fooling around a whole lot. It was fun. It was cool while it lasted. But then after a while, I feel it just comes with maturity. You start thinking like, okay, she's cool. She might be great looking, whatever. She might be fun. Yeah. But how long does that really last? At what point in this relationship do I become almost like a parent? Because those kind of people you end up having to take care of them, and then really they become a liability to you.
Yeah.
And you're almost like you're what they depend on.
There's not a lot of things in this life that could stress you out, cause more problems in your life than marrying the wrong person, man. And if you marry for the wrong reason, like you said, like you just into like the sex, the looks, but that person really ain't got their shit together, later on it's gonna come back to bite you, brother.
So I've actually had like talks with this, like with people before, of course, and I heard one thing that forever changed the way that I thought And it was so simple. It was so simple. Listen to this. Someone told me a body only lasts a couple years. A mind lasts forever.
Yeah, it's true.
And that right there made me like almost, take a step back, think about what I was doing. At the time I was talking to this really good looking girl, but she didn't have, I guess what you could say, what I was looking for in terms of
Long-term
range.
relationship. Yeah.
Long term. Like I feel like as couples, that's how you grow the most. As much as people want to think, oh, I'm gonna do it by myself. I'm gonna do it by myself. I don't need nobody. That's not true, because if you ever do meet that right person, and everybody, such as myself, who meets that right person, they will all tell you that finding the right person that has the right head on their shoulders and thinks the same way and is on the same page as you, that's what's really gonna get you somewhere.
Yeah, it's family, man. It's family. It's not just like having your partner, your wife, your husband, whatever like that. It's your extension, the other people that your aunts, your uncles,
it's
having a
partner,
tight-knit
exactly.
support group, man.
The way you just said it, it's your partner. It's not just your girl. This is not just my shorty, it's your partner.
Yeah, exactly, man. Gonna have to get because I need some young ladies to talk to, man. I have to get your girlfriend to come on here one of these days and tell me the female perspective. So you could tell me how messed up these dudes are out here nowadays.
I would love to hear that, honestly.
All right, man. For the last thing, man, let's get into cryptocurrency, because for me, I remember hearing it like a while back. I mean, like a while back, more than 10 years. And a friend of mine told me, yo, just you got a few extra hundreds or whatever around, just throw it into this thing, man. I was like, man, no fucking way. Hell no. Man, I would have had so much money right now.
Do it. If I got one thing to tell to everybody on this podcast is invest in cryptocurrency. Do not be stupid about it. Like you said, I like to do what's called the 3-step process.
Okay.
It's basically 3 installments of cash. Cryptocurrency is something that's very volatile. If you don't know about it, you can lose a lot of money. If you just go ahead and say, I'm gonna invest $1,000, and you don't know what you're investing into, like I said, it's very volatile. Cryptocurrency is something that social media controls almost. Like people hype it up and it'll go through the roof and make you tons of money, or people could just forget about it, and then that $1,000 investment that you put it all at one shot, that's gone, finito, because it never went nowhere, it never took off. Cryptocurrency is something that's changing a lot of people's lives, and like you said, just spare change here and there can really make a difference. I actually just put a couple bucks into what's called Cardano. So what Cardano is, have you ever heard of Cardano?
No.
So Cardano is basically Ethereum 2.0. I'm sure you've heard of Ethereum.
I'm not into this, man. Sorry.
No? All right. Give some people some lessons right now. So Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, Ethereum, all of those things line up because they're all what's called the blockchain. So what a blockchain is basically it's a chain of digital assets that people own individually. And it's not like owning a digital image on Google. Like anybody could screenshot an image on Google or repost it and basically claim ownership, and you wouldn't be able to tell the difference because of the fact that it looks the same. It's a screenshot.
Right.
So the difference with this is it's a blockchain. Every single transaction is recorded. If you purchase an image, it's yours now, and there's a record of that forever. And so you will collect royalties on that forever. And depending on how big that blows up to, it will, that's how much money you'll make basically. And cryptocurrency is funding all of that right now. Like, have you heard of NFTs? So NFTs are non-fungible tokens, basically what I was just talking about. And you purchase these NFTs with cryptocurrency. That is why cryptocurrency is going to be the next big thing. Elon Musk predicted already that cryptocurrency will overthrow the dollar. And so Ethereum is what is being used now to purchase these non-fungible tokens. It's basically you create a wallet, you purchase a certain amount of Ethereum with US dollars, and that certain amount of cryptocurrency you purchase a digital asset with, and that can make you money. Cardano is supposed to be Ethereum 2.0.
Okay.
Hasn't blown up yet, but take a look into it, people, and invest wisely is all I can say.
So, like I said, I heard about it a while. I looked a little bit into it. I don't know, man. Like maybe I'm old. I'm just wary about it, man. I don't know. What it has done for me is made me think about what is money. You know what I'm saying? When I was growing up, I was told that money is gold somewhere in a bank in Fort Knox. You know what I mean? They have the army surrounding it. But obviously that's not what money is. You know, see, money seems to be like an idea almost. You say somebody, like you hire a guy to do a job at your house and you say, hey, look, I give you this, but you don't really give him anything. You know what I'm saying? Like you didn't give him gold. You didn't give him something. You just say, hey, you have X amount dollars, coins, crypto, whatever it is. This is what you have. So for me, like, it's very disturbing, man, because I feel like we're on shaky ground. Because if people don't think money is anything, then what are we doing, man? You know what I mean? Does that make sense to you?
Yeah. What I think it is I feel like money used to control the world. It still does, but in a different way now. I feel like people are now understanding how money really works or how it could possibly be used to their benefit.
Yeah.
Meaning now I make money. Money doesn't make you now. Like, do you know what I'm trying to say by that?
Trying, I don't know.
All right,
so let me stop you real quick. So here's what because I don't know if you understood what I'm saying. Let's just play like a thought experiment, right? I'm a guy and I want to create this cryptocurrency. I want to create money. Let's not even say crypto. Let's just say I want to create a currency, right? What I do is I just create. I say I have $1 billion Theo Richie dollars. Who wants some of these billion Theo Richie dollars? And people start saying, I want some. Okay, so give me $100 and I'll give you $1 million Theo Richie dollars. And I go like that, stuff like that. But the shit is, I just made that up, bro. You know what I mean? Like it didn't come from anywhere. You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm not saying that's a problem with cryptocurrency. I'm saying that it's a problem with all currency. Why is the dollar worth more than the yen or the euro or whatever? Why someone just steps up in front of a podium and goes, the value of this is that. You know what I'm saying?
I think okay, I got what you're saying. Yeah, you know what I think it is? If everybody could benefit from it, everybody's down.
That's all it is. It's everybody agreeing on an idea. And that's what I think money is.
Social media.
For this cryptocurrency, yeah, I think so. I think traditional currency is the government. But for cryptocurrency, it's like because it's all about what's the popular thing, what's the hot.
But no, I'm not talking about traditional money. I'm talking about, like you said, people could just make up this random thing and everybody makes money off of it. It's almost like a big pool of money circulation that stems from one thing that was really nothing. You know what I'm trying to say? Somebody just blew it up.
Yeah.
And if everybody's making money from it, then what's the problem?
Yeah, no, I don't got a problem with that. Like I'm all for people making money, man.
That's the problem. No. What I mean is like everybody's happy with it, so nobody questions it.
True, but I question it. But here's what I mean, Cris, because
you question it, right? You question it, and then you do your research about it and say, "Oh shit, I can actually make money from this too."
Oh yeah, if I can make money from it, I'm gonna do it.
And then where do the rest of those questions go? They disappear, because if you made your money, that's all that matters.
I think you're right. But for me, I'm still that guy, like, because I'm just a dude that's inside my head, man. I think a lot, you know what I mean? So yeah, I would definitely invest. I would definitely get that money, but I will always have a thing in me saying, "Yo, like this is bullshit. This is what did we just do?"
It's like a scam. Like you don't know which way it could go. Like this shit could make me a millionaire, or I could just be wasting time. I felt like that too. But
Legalize gambling, maybe, man.
oh yeah, in New York now.
Yeah. I think that's what it is. I think what the stock market, crypto, all that shit is just like some kind of legalized gambling, man.
In a way, it is. In a way, it is.
All right, Papi. Hey, I love you, man. Thank you for coming on this. Let's do this again. Talk to your old lady, man. Maybe we'll do something. Let's get what are women thinking about, like men today, or something like that.
About. All right, for sure. I'm gonna see if my girl would definitely hop on here and let's pick her mind. I'm down. I'm down. That sounds fun because I feel like, but also if we do that right, we gotta make sure we get in the truth because I feel like these ladies will just tell you almost like a lie, and then they have something else going on in their head. Yeah. They're like, I'm not gonna tell this man.
Right. Especially if she's dating with you, you know what I mean? Yeah. You might be lying too, cabrón. Hey, let's do a panel. Like, let's do like 3 dudes, me, you, and I don't know. We'll pick someone else and have like 3 females, and we'll have like a conversation, dude, about it.
Yeah. We have a conversation. Yeah, I'm with that. We could definitely set that up.
All right, Cris. I love you, brother.
All right, my man. Have a good night. Or what time is it down here?
It's the morning. It's 9 a.m.
All right. Enjoy your day, man.
Enjoy Colombia. Bye-bye.